Hi, I'm Diana Davis, Exeter class of 2003. I'm sorry I couldn't be there today, but Mr. Parris would definitely approve of the reasons. I had already made plans to give a math talk and to visit my Exeter cross-country co-captain. When I arrived in Exeter as a prep in the fall of 1999, I looked at my class schedule and discovered that I had the same teacher for both math and cross-country, Richard L. Parris. "That's nice," my parents said. "You'll probably get to know him pretty well." How true that would be. There's so much that I could say about Rick Parris that I need to narrow it down somehow. So I assume that a lot of people will talk about how he was a wonderful teacher and a wonderful coach. So I'm going to talk about how he was a wonderful mathematician. I think that he was always thinking about math problems. It was his hobby. It's what his brain did for fun. A year or two after graduating from Exeter, I gave P a college real analysis textbook that I especially liked. A few years later, I asked if he had looked at it. He said that he kept it on his nightstand for some light bedtime reading. I thought he was joking. He wasn't. One time, I was thinking about if you randomly choose a triangle, what's the probability that it's acute? It took me a while, but I finally figured it out. 25%. I liked my solution, so I sent it to P. He wrote back, pointing out that it depends on how you randomly choose the triangle. He gave a couple ways of counting that gave my answer of 25%, plus some other ways that gave completely different answers. Properly chastened about the perils of probability, I thought that was the end of it. But the next day he wrote another email. Acute triangles redux, with even more methods and more answers. The next day, acute triangles revisited, with more methods and even different answers. Finally, on the fourth day, he said we should write a book with all the different ways to count acute triangles. We totally should have. He came up with 6 different solutions to the same problem because he liked thinking about math problems. My first year in grad school, he asked me to send him any interesting problems that I came across in my courses. Occasionally I did. Frequently, he would write back, "Ah, yes, that one's a classic." He knew math problems. He wrote the book on math problems. I once wrote to him describing a problem that I couldn't solve, and I mentioned that I had recited the whole problem, word for word, to a friend while running. He told me, "Even though you did not yet solve this problem on the run, you did experience one of the great pleasures of doing math. You can take it wherever you go. Just don't try this while you're behind the wheel." I sent P a letter the day before he died, and in addition to the usual news and hopes for a speedy recovery, I included an interesting math problem that I've been thinking about. I figured he needed something to do all day. He always appreciated a good problem. In my senior year at Exeter, I wrote to alums who had run girls cross country and asked them to send in memories of Mr. Parris for the 25th anniversary of the team. I called the book Thanks to P. It has a double meaning. It was a book full of people thanking P for everything he had done for them over the years. But it was also a book that commemorated the joy and camaraderie and love that had existed on that team for 25 years, thanks to P. We are gathered here today to express those two sentiments, thanks to P.
451 with Mr. Parris was the highlight of my upper spring. In between chemistry labs and history research, math with Mr. Parris was always relaxing and stimulating at the same time. Even though half of my class was seniors, I don't think he gave out a single cookie that term. I will also never forget how unfazed he was when a group of us showed up to his room on a Saturday afternoon with pool cues, ping pong net, and air hockey equipment, hoping to use his Harkness table for our senior page photos. He deeply understood and cared for his students, and as a teacher, he was one of a kind. In closing, I wish to present him with this rose. I know we were asked not to get flowers, but I feel Mr. Parris would greatly appreciate this. So I have a cube here, and with a few simple folds, it becomes a rose.